Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, please rise for His Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Katsav and Mrs. Katsav. They are accompanied by Mr. Dan David, founder of the Dan David Prize, and by Professor Itamar Rabinovich, President of the Tel Aviv University. כבוד הנשיא והגברת קצב, מכובדיי, גבירותיי ורבותיי, ערב טוב וברוכים הבאים לטקס הענקת פרס דן דוד לשנת 2005. כדי לאפשר לאורחים הרבים שאינם דוברים עברית לעקוב אחר פרטי הטקס, הוא ינוהל ברשותכם בשפה האנגלית, תרגום סימולטני לשירותכם. Your Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Katsav and Mrs. Katsav, Mr. and Mrs. David, honored laureates and guests, ladies and gentlemen, Shalom. Good evening and welcome to the 2005 Dan David Prize Award Ceremony.
I am time. Yes, I am time that pleases some, that tries all, both joy and terror of good and bad, that makes and unfolds error. I now take upon me in the name of time to use my wings. Imputed not a crime to me or my swift passage, that I slide over 16 years and leave the growth untried of that wide gap, since it is in my power to overthrow law. And in one self-born hour to plant and overwhelm custom. Let me pass the same I am, ere ancientest order was or what is now received. I, witness to the times that brought them in, so shall I do to the precious things now reigning, and make stale the glistering of this present, as my tale now seems to it. Your patience disallowing, I turn my glass, and give my scene such growing as you had slept between. Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now. If never, though time himself doth say, he wishes earnestly, you never may.
Thank you to the dancer Anton Lapidus, a graduate of the Russian Academy Ballet. Undoubtedly, ladies and gentlemen, we all recognize that the theme of time is the underlying concept of the various presentations. Evolution is the time process. It is an honor to call upon Professor Itamar Rabinovich, President of Tel Aviv University, to open the ceremony.
Mr. President, Mrs. Katsav, dear winners, ladies and gentlemen, how does it feel to open the fourth ceremony of the awarding of the Dan David Prizes? It feels very well. The first year, we were uncertain. Will the panel select? Will the board confirm? Will the program take place? Will the audience show up? In the second and third year, we felt that we were taking off, that the fledgling prize was taking off. In the fourth year, we are in flight. We feel that the impact of the prize is here. It's become an event not only in the life of the university, but in the life of the country, a cultural, scientific, and academic event. We feel that a greater demand, ideas are being brought forward, partnerships are offered. And we know what the next phase is. We would like the same impact that the prize has locally in this country to have worldwide. This is what we will strive for in the years to come. And next year will be a special year, the 5th year of the prize, special celebration, a special award. Enjoy the proceedings of the evening. Our best wishes to the winners, and thank you all for being part of this event.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Rabinovich. And it is my honor and pleasure to call upon His Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Moshe Katsav, to deliver his address. Mr. Katsav will speak in Hebrew, so I suggest all of you requiring simultaneous translation, please turn on your earphones. Thank you.
Professor Itamar Rabinovich, Mr. Dan David, ורעייתו, רקטור האוניברסיטה, חתני הפרס, קהל נכבד. אני מבקש גם השנה, זו פעם הרביעית, לשבח את אוניברסיטת תל אביב ואת מר דן דוד, שהצליחו להפוך את פרסי דן דוד לאחד הפרסים היוקרתיים והמכובדים. הפרס רכש לו בארבע השנים האחרונות מוניטין הערכה בזכות הרמה הגבוהה של מקבלי הפרסים ומשום התחומים המקוריים והייחודיים עבורם מעניקים את הפרס. תחומי העבר, הווה ועתיד יש להם משמעות מיוחדת לעם היהודי, ואין מקום יותר מתאים להענקת פרסים בתחומים אלה מאשר במדינת ישראל. אנו גאים בעברו המפואר של העם היהודי, בתרומתו הייחודית, האוניברסלית, לתרבות האנושית, למוסר האנושי. אני משבח את דן דוד, המקדיש את מורשת העבר של עמנו, דואג לדורות העתיד, ומשבח אותו על תרומתו הייחודית לעידוד המחקר המדעי. אני מאחל לך, מר דן דוד, שנים רבות של עשייה יצירה למען האנושות, נחת וסיפוק לכל עמלך. חתני הפרס, נמצאת בידיכם הזכות להוקיר, להעריך את העבר, לבסס ולייצב את ההווה, ולהתוות עתיד משופע בשפע רב יותר למען הדורות הבאים. יש לכם הזכות לתרום לעיצוב חיי המין האנושי. לידי קהילת המדע העולמית מצוי המפתח לעתידם של הדורות הבאים. הודות למחקר המדעי מתחוללים שינויים, תמורות בעולם, בידי מנהיגי העולם והמדענים בעולם הכלים כדי לשפר את איכות החיים האנושית. המדענים בעולם משפיעים מאוד על ההתרחשויות העולמיות, משפיעים מאוד על מנהיגי העולם, אולי יותר מאשר בכל תקופה אחרת בהיסטוריה האנושית. המחקר המדעי הינו נכס לאנושות, המדע הינו תשתית עבור כלכלה איתנה יציבה וגם עבור הרווחה האנושית. המחקר המדעי יכול לתרום ולהביא שלום ויציבות בעולם, ולדאבוננו גם להפך. הוא ודאי יוכל לסייע למין האנושי בפתרון הבעיות האמיתיות, כמו עוני, אסונות אקולוגיים, מחלות חשוכות מרפא ועוד. האנושות מצפה מהמדע לפריצת דרך כדי למצוא פתרונות מזור לתחלואי האנושות. אני משוכנע שהפתרונות המזור מצויים ביקום, והמדע ייעודו לחשוף, לגלות, לא צריך להמציא, אבל ודאי לחשוף ולגלות את מה שקיים, ובוודאי ייתן תשובות, פתרונות, מזור לבעיות שמהן סובלת האנושות. אנו במדינת ישראל יש לנו גאווה רבה על ההישגים המדעיים שלנו. אני מאמין שהאנושות עדיין זקוקה לפריצות דרך מדעיות, להשלמת התוכניות של המחקר. אני מברך, מצפה בשם אזרחי ישראל מקהילת המדע הישראלית העולמית להתמודד עם האתגר החשוב הזה כדי אכן להביא לשינוי פני ההיסטוריה האנושית, והמפתח הוא בידי המדע ובידי מנהיגי העולם. עוצמתה של חברה, של מדינה, נמדדת לא רק באוצרות טבע, אלא ביכולות האנושיות ויכולות המדעיות שבידה. אני מאחל לכם, חתני הפרס, כי תמשיכו במאמציכם להביא פתרונות לתחלואים של המין האנושי, ומברך אתכם שתהיה לכם הרבה חדווה, הרבה סיפוק ביצירה, במחקר המדעי. אנו מקווים שתפתחו גם הודות למחקרים שביצעתם, יחד עם עמיתיכם, תביאו לפתיחת אופקים חדשים בחיי המין האנושי. מקבלי הפרס זוכים היום להערכה, הוקרה על עבודה חלוצית, ואתם בוודאי מניחים נדבך חשוב מאוד שעוד רבים ילכו בעקבותיכם, ואתם מהווים מבחינה זאת מסד חשוב מאוד בחיינו. אני מבקש לברך ולסיים את חתני הפרס, את אוניברסיטת תל אביב, את משפחת דן דוד. תודה לכם על הכבוד והיוקרה שאתם מעניקים למדינת ישראל ולחיזוק מעמדה בקרב אומות העולם. תודה רבה.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I have the honor to call upon Mr. Dan David, the founder of the Dan David Prize, to deliver his address.
President and Mrs. Katsav, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to you. As we meet here for the fourth consecutive year, I would like first of all to greet some old and some new friends. President Katsav and Mrs. Katsav, who have supported us from the beginning and honor us each year with their presence. The members of the board, professors and students of Tel Aviv University, the representatives of Israeli culture, and all our guests. Among our new friends, I would like to greet the winner for this year, who continue to represent, in what is now almost a tradition, the foremost achievements that humanity reaches in studying our past, improving our present, and dreaming our future. They symbolize, this year again, the diversity of the prize, Professor Barker and Finkelstein, who explore our roots to discover our past. Mr. Peter Bruch, whose talent in the performing arts is recognized worldwide, and Professors Langer, Whitesides, and Rao. Their goals are to give the world sustainable materials to build the future. This prize conferment tonight is an important event. For me personally, today has also a special importance, as Gabi and I are celebrating our 25th, our silver wedding anniversary. Thank you, Gabi, for bearing with me and being at my side for those 25 years, and I hope for many more to come. Mr. Walter Veltroni, the mayor of Rome, whose city won the 2004 prize in the pastime dimension for the richness and preservation of historical and cultural legacy, was due to join us today. I herewise quote part of the letter Mayor Veltroni wrote to us, and I am glad to see the ambassador of Italy being among us this evening. Unexpected and unforeseen commitments, which I cannot defer, impede me from coming to Tel Aviv. Rome feels particularly honored for the prize the Dan David Foundation has wanted to assign it. I wish to express you, I am quoting the letter of the Mayor Veltroni, I wish to express you to the University of Tel Aviv and to all those present at the ceremony for the conferment of the Dan David Prizes, my warm thanks and the most cordial greetings, and in apologizing again for my absence, I extend the best wishes of success for your initiatives. Although I could never influence the eminent scholars that compose our selection committees, my friends know how much I was pleased in my heart when they choose Rome, a city in which I enjoy passing several months every year. History is one of my hobbies, and when I walk through the streets of Rome, I can feel its history surrounding me. In the Circo Massimo, I can hear the chariots rumble, and 250,000 Romans standing up, cheering their favorites or saluting the emperor who watches the spectacle from the terrace of his Palatine Palace. Strolling through the Roman Forum, I still could see the flames rise from the place where Mark Antony burned the body of the assassinated Caesar. Every single step in Rome brings the past back to life. I would like also to mention a few other participants that are here with us this evening. As you may know, all prize winners since the beginning of this initiative have granted 10% of their prize to young researchers to encourage them and help them to follow in the footsteps of their mentors. Tonight, we'll welcome for the first time an even younger generation, the winner of our high school competition. 13 Israeli high school students who are here in this hall were selected among 600 pupils who presented essays indicating the person or the field to which they believe the Dan David Prize 2006 should be dedicated. There is not enough time to read to you from their composition, and I would hesitate to quote from only one or two of them, as they are all equally deserving. But I would like to say, and the titles could be found in this evening program, I would like to say that what I found most interesting is that all the works, whatever their subjects, display the same basic qualities and show how this youngster could be inspired by the knowledge of the past, are aware of the challenges of the present, and are a source of hope for our future. I am extremely pleased that we are able to help these young people to continue their studies, to achieve their dreams, perhaps to encourage them to become researchers, scholars, and maybe one day recipients of the main prize. I would like those 13 winners to stand up for a moment. They are worth our applause. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I believe that in reaching out more and more to children, to young people, to young researchers, and to our winners at the peak of their careers. We are fully embracing the concept of past, present, and future time dimension, encouraging humanity's achievement in all its stages, in all its forms and expressions. And as next year will be our first 5-year anniversary, I'm inviting all our previous laureates and yourselves, please, to join us here in May 2006 and continue together this wonderful experience. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Dan David. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to call upon Professor Shimon Yankelevich, Rector of Tel Aviv University, to deliver his address. As the rector's speech will be in Hebrew, I ask all those requiring simultaneous translation again to turn on the earphones. Thank you.
כבוד נשיא המדינה מר משה קצב, נשיא האוניברסיטה פרופסור איתמר רבינוביץ', מר דן דוד ורעייתו, חתני פרס דן דוד לשנת 2005, עמיתים, חברים ואורחים יקרים. טקס חלוקת פרס דן דוד הוא רגע חגיגי שבו אנחנו מכבדים, מוקירים ומתכבדים במיטב שרוח האדם מסוגלת להשיג. זאת במיטב המסורת היהודית שידעה במהלך כל השנים להכיר ולהוקיר תלמידי חכמים, הישגים אינטלקטואליים ותגליות בתחומי מדע, חברה ורוח. אני רק תקווה, כבוד הנשיא, שנדע לשמר ולטפח רוח זאת במדינת ישראל, ואני אומר זאת לנוכח המשבר הקשה שעדיין פוקד את מערכת ההשכלה הגבוהה ואוניברסיטאות המחקר. פרס דן דוד, שנולד לפני 4 שנים, ממלא מעל ומעבר את הציפיות הגבוהות שהוריו, מר דן דוד ואוניברסיטת תל אביב, תלו בו. הפרס מתבסס, זוכה להכרה ומוניטין בינלאומיים כאחד הפרסים היותר חשובים, מתכבד ומתברך בזוכיו, מהשורה הראשונה של המצטיינים שבאנשי המדע והרוח והישגיהם בקידום הידע והיצירתיות האנושיים. הערב הוא חג, חג למותר האדם וייחודו, ליכולתו לחשוב ולהסיק מסקנות, ליצירתיות מדעית, תרבותית, אומנותית, מודעת, ללא מטרה תועלתנית מיידית, לסקרנות ופתיחות להבין את העולם ואת עצמנו, לשאול ולבקש לענות על השאלות הבסיסיות ביותר, ולהתלבט בנושאי רגש, אתיקה ומוסר, ליכולת לאתגר את חזית הידע. הייחודיות הזאת שלנו כבני אדם היא זאת המאפשרת לנו ללמוד ולהסיק מסקנות מהעבר, לשפר את ההווה ולחלום על עתיד טוב ובלתי צפוי. מאושרים האנשים שניחונו ביכולת לשאול ולענות על השאלות העמוקות החדשות, לגלות את סודות הטבע והאדם. בסיפור בראשית, אדם בחר לא בעץ החיים, אלא בעץ הדעת. ובספר משלי נאמר על החוכמה, עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה. אנחנו ממשיכים לאכול מעץ הדעת, מה שמביא אותנו לדרגה הקרובה יותר אל האלוהים. במילים של ספר בראשית, כי ביום אכלכם ממנו, מעץ הדעת, ונפקחו עיניכם, והייתם כאלוהים. ושלמה המלך, על פי הנוסח של ספר דברי הימים, מבקש מאלוהים, אתה חכמה ומדע תן לי, חוכמה ומדע. בהשאלה נוכל לומר בלשון של ימינו, כי חוכמה מתייחסת אל מדעי הרוח והחברה, לימוד האדם ויצירתו, ומדע, מדעי הטבע, לימוד הטבע וחוקיו. אני מבקש לברך את זוכי הפרס השנה, כל אחד מהם בתחומו פורץ דרך, תוך מוכנות להעלות בתעוזה רעיונות, דרכי חשיבה ולהגיע להישגים מהפכניים. פרופסור גרהם ברקר מאוניברסיטת קמברידג' ופרופסור ישראל פינקלשטיין משלנו מאוניברסיטת תל אביב, ארכיאולוגים שכל אחד לשיטתו פתחו כיווני מחקר חדשניים, בינתחומיים, המאירים על תרבויות קדומות, תרבויות שבסופו של עניין הן הבסיס לציביליזציה שלנו. מר פיטר ברוקס, מגדולי הבימאים והתיאורטיקנים של התיאטרון והאופרה, איש עבורו כל העולם במה. פרופסור רוברט לנגר מהמכון הטכנולוגי במסצ'וסט, MIT, מחלוצי ומובילי המחקר והנדסת רקמות, פרופסור ג'ורג' וייטסייד מאוניברסיטת הרווארד, שמחקרו מגשר בין כימיה, הנדסה כימית וביולוגיה, שהביא לפיתוח חומרים פונקציונליים חדשים, ופרופסור ראו ממרכז ג'והרלאל נרו בהודו, שמחקרו מתמקד בכימיה של חומרים. אני מבקש לחזור על דברים שאמרתי גם בטקס חלוקת תארי הדוקטור לשם כבוד של אוניברסיטת תל אביב. היסודות הכימיים שאחראים לקיום חיים, כמו חמצן, פחמן, ברזל, נוצרו בליבה של כוכבים עתירי נוקלאונים, פרוטונים, נוטרונים, שבשלב מאוחר של חייהם קרסו, וכתוצאה מהחום שנוצר בליבה גרמו להיתוך של הפרוטונים והנאוטרונים ליסודות היותר כבדים, אלה שנחוצים כדי שיווצרו חיים. בשלב הסופי של החיים שלהם, אותם כוכבים התפוצצו ופיזרו את היסודות הכבדים האלה, כמו חמצן, פחמן, ברזל, אלה שדרושים לקיום החיים, ברחבי היקום. ומבחינה זאת, כולנו עשויים אבק כוכבים. בפורצי הדרך, אלה המקדמים ומגדירים את חזית המחקר, הידע והיצירה בנושאי מדע, רוח ותרבות ואומנות, דבק אולי יותר מאותו אבק כוכבים. ועל אלה בוודאי נמנים חתני פרס דוד. שנת 2005 הוכרזה כשנת הפיזיקה, שנה שבה אנחנו חוגגים את יום ההולדת ה-100 לשנה המופלאה 1905, שבה איינשטיין פרסם 3 עבודות ששינו לחלוטין את עולם המדע: האפקט הפוטואלקטרי, התנועה הבראונית ותורת היחסות. מתבקש לכן להביא מדבריו של איינשטיין שהם גם רלוונטיים לטקס הערב. וכך אומר איינשטיין: כל אחד מאיתנו מבקר על כדור הארץ שלא בהתנדבות וללא הזמנה. עבורי, כך אומר איינשטיין, זאת סיבה מספקת בכדי לנצל זמן זה לתהות על סודות הטבע והאדם ולהתמודד עם חידת גילוים ופענוחם. כל המדע שלנו, בהשוואה למגוון תופעות הטבע, הינו פרימיטיבי וילדותי, אבל זה הדבר היקר ביותר שיש לנו. ואני מבקש לסיים בקטע מדבריו של הפילוסוף סנקה, שחי ברומא, אותה רומא שמר דן דוד כל כך אוהב, חי במאה הראשונה לספירה, ושלהערכתי תפס בצורה מדויקת את הרוח של אותה הרפתקה המופלאה הקרויה מדע. וכך אומר סנקה: יבוא זמן שמחקר מאומץ וקפדני במשך תקופה ארוכה יחשוף דברים שכרגע נסתרים מאיתנו. ידע זה יתפרס בפנינו רק במשך שנים ארוכות של עבודה מאומצת. יגיע הזמן שהצאצאים שלנו יהיו מופתעים שאנחנו לא ידענו דברים שינם כה ברורים ונהירים להם. תגליות רבות שמורות לדורות שיבואו, כאשר הזכר שלנו כבר יימחק. היקום שלנו היה מקום עלוב ומשמים, אם לא היה בו לכל דור שאלות חדשות, תגליות חדשות ונושאי מחקר חדשים. הטבע אינו מגלה את כל סודותיו בפעם אחת. גבול הידע והיצירה האנושית הם גבול הסקרנות האנושית. פרס דן דוד ילווה על ידי ציון ההישגים ומתן הוקרה ותודה את אותם הסקרנים המובילים אותנו במסע הארוך להישגים אינטלקטואליים ורכישת ידע חדש, הישגי מדע ורוח. תודה.
Thank you very much, Professor Yankelevich. Thank you very much, Yevgeny Sverdlov, artist and sand sculptor. The specific field of the pastime dimension of the Dan David Prize 2005 is archaeology. The International Review Committee, headed by Professor James Muley of the American School of Classical Studies, Athens, could not have reached a more appropriate decision than the selection of Professor Graham Barker and Professor Yisrael Finkelstein for the 2005 Dan David Prize for the Pastime Dimension. This is to witness that on the 23rd day of May 2005, the Dan David Prize for 2005 for outstanding achievements in the service of humanity, advancement of the frontiers of knowledge, and the universal goals of excellence, creativity, humanism, and progress is awarded for the pastime dimension in the field of archaeology to Professor Graham Barker for his significant interdisciplinary contributions to the promotion and advancement of archaeology, especially in the relationship between landscape and society and the tension between nature and culture.
We all create archaeology, all societies leave rubbish, they leave residues of the past. So archaeology theoretically can tell us about all societies from the deepest antiquity to the 20th century. It's a subject that's of relevance to all kinds of people. It tells us about the emperors, the slaves, the poor people, the rich people. I've been interested, therefore always, in particular, landscape, environment, the relationships between people and their landscape. In just bits of rubbish, we could learn about what animals were hunted, what animals were farmed. We could learn about what people were doing in terms of trying to create surpluses, to create status. That we can learn an awful lot about people's relationships with each other. There's an awful lot of archaeology on television. The best of the programs get across that archaeology is enormous fun, and that's right. They get across that it's a terrific team subject, and that's right. And they get across that it's full of clever techniques. But I don't think they ever really get across what's at the heart of the subject, that archaeology matters, that actually we should be about tackling big and important issues about the past. We have 99% of the human history in our hands to study, and we have to learn from that past.
The 2005 Dan David Prize for the Pastime Dimension in the field of archaeology is awarded to Professor Yisrael Finkelstein for his innovative research combining the disciplines of archaeology and philology and revealing a revolutionary interpretation of the history and archaeology of Israel in the Bronze and Iron Ages.
Before, in the classical biblical archaeology, the Bible told the story, and archaeology was some sort of a decoration without life of itself. What we need to do now, with what we wish to do, is to show that archaeology is the science that needs to play the first violin in this concert, but without ignoring the Bible, which is important, valuable, dear to us, and central for our civilization. First of all, we establish what we know from archaeology about the realities in this country in antiquity, and then we go back to the text and we try to understand the text from this point of view. What we wish to do is not to discard, the biblical text, but to make a distinction between tradition, which is important to all of us, and scientific research. This, I think, is a central piece in what we wish to do. Archaeology cannot trash tradition. Archaeology cannot destroy tradition, because tradition has life of itself. But the scientific research should be put forward.
It is an honor to invite Mr. Dan David and Professor James Muley to the stage to present the awards. I have the honor to invite to the stage the recipients of the prizes, Professor Graham Barker of Cambridge University and Professor Israel Finkelstein of Tel Aviv University.
It was a narrow squeak then for Israel Finkelstein. President and Mrs. Katsav, Professor Rabinovich, Dan and Gabi David, Professor Yakovlevich, and fellow prize winners, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen. I know I speak for my fellow winner of the past prize, Israel Finkelstein, when I say that it's with pride, humility and astonishment in equal measure that we found ourselves on the platform this evening as the recipients of the 2005 prize in archaeology. I'd like to express our profound gratitude to the awarding committee for this extraordinary honour, and to recognise first and foremost that in receiving the award we represent not just ourselves but also the many collaborators who have enormously enriched our research and made it possible. The generations of students whose enthusiasm and scepticism about our ideas have inspired us to always keep questioning what we do. And above all, the discipline of archaeology, to which we're both passionately committed. Archaeology is commonly defined as a study of our past from the material culture left behind by previous generations. Material culture meaning not just artifacts and monuments, but all the other things left in the soil from past lives, from field walls to bones to seeds and more besides, as we saw in the clip. As such, archaeology is concerned with all the human past, of all peoples, everywhere in the world. Everybody creates archaeology, as I said in the clip, from rich and poor, emperor and slave, from presidents to taxi drivers. It's often said that one of the greatest strengths of archaeology is its potential to reveal the lives not just of those who wrote history, and who in so doing often intended that written record to serve as some kind of unassailable truth for future generations, but for those who are denied history as well. As I said in that clip, archaeology programs get across the fun of the subject. Indeed, the best of them in Britain is what's called Time Team, and in this we see a group of highly skilled archaeologists of varying degrees of eccentricity, but all highly professional, sort out a knotty archaeological problem that's baffled the local experts, generally over a few days of frantic fieldwork. The field team is supported by an impressive array of white-coated scientific boffins who somehow managed to produce invaluable results from meticulous laboratory work, more or less overnight. Time Team is wonderful television, and it conveys those three important truths about archaeology. The first is that it's enormous fun for those who do it. In a priceless, memorably politically incorrect phrase, over 30 years ago, Professor Kent Flannery said that archaeology, he thought, was the best fun you could have and still keep your trousers on. Its life-enhancing qualities captivated me on my very first excavation as an undergraduate almost 40 years ago, and have done ever since. The second, related to the first, is that it's enormously rewarding in terms of personal relationships, because its practice involves us in working together on a day-by-day basis, often in challenging physical conditions. The third is that good archaeology requires highly complex techniques in the field and in the laboratory. But what's missing, as I said, in programs like Time Team, is what's the most important thing, that archaeology has important things to say about our past.
Archaeologists like Israel Finkelstein and myself do not live in the past. We don't hold any kind of sentimental attachment to past times and past worlds. However, Israel and I are both passionate about our subject because we recognize that people's senses of who they are and where they're going are rooted in their notions of where they've come from. Our past, or rather our notions of it, are never neutral, but implicitly or explicitly value-laden. It never was neutral in the past either. Israel's marvelous Bible Unearthed brings that out brilliantly in his discussion of the multi-layers of meaning embedded in the ancient biblical written sources. Nor is it ever neutral today. Whilst the Nazis' exploitation of Gustav Kosina's ideas about a seamless Aryan culture deeply rooted in prehistoric Europe is always pointed to as the prime example of archaeology being misused in the name of power politics, there are present-day examples on all continents of the world, and very obviously in this part of the world, of how the past can be highly contested, with opposing political genders trying to justify themselves by summoning their past, or what suits them to think of as their past, to speak on their behalf in the witness box. It's inevitable that ordinary people are attracted to the versions of the past that fit most comfortably with their notions of who they are and where they've come from. And politicians and the media like things to be simpler still. But the past was messy and complicated, because Homo sapiens sapiens is exactly that, capable of being innovative or conservative, bold or timorous, selfless or selfish, creative or destructive. This is not to say that archaeology is too important to leave to non-archaeologists. The archaeological heritage belongs to everybody, not just to the professionals. And in the end, its safest protector is not antiquities legislation, of course that's important, but having a local population valuing it for what it brings to their sense of self-worth, and ideally benefiting from it economically as well. But Israel Finkelstein and I certainly believe that archaeologists have a profound duty to the public to engage with them, and with the politicians and the media, to stop the past being hijacked in a simplistic way for simple stories to suit current social fashions or political agendas. A mature engagement with our past through archaeology does not necessarily make good television or good journalism, but it does help make more civilized, culturally aware and tolerant societies in today's complicated multicultural and globalized world. On behalf of Israel Finkelstein and myself, I'd like to reiterate our profound gratitude to the Dan David Awarding Committee for selecting archaeology as the 2005 discipline dealing with the past, and in valuing the researches that the two of us have been doing to try to bring its ambiguities and its complexities to bear on the lives of people today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Barker. The 2005 Dan David Prize for the Present Time Dimension is in the field of performing arts, film, theatre, dance and music. Peter Brook encompasses all of these and is at the same time a talented writer. We are proud to present a tribute to this unique personality.
Adorer la vie, aimer la vie, avoir une curiosité sur la vie et trouver que dans la musique, la vie prend une forme dans le théâtre comique, dans le théâtre dramatique, dans les improvisations. Ce sont des autres reflets de quelque chose qui est inépuisable. Mais aimer le théâtre, c'est aimer une forme. j'aime toujours le cinéma autant et parfois plus que le théâtre, parce que quand je vais au théâtre, quand c'est pas très bon, je m'ennuie, vraiment c'est une souffrance. Mais je crois que le charme du cinéma est que ça bouge. Dans le pire des cas, quelque chose traverse cette petite scène qui est l'écran, qui est en mouvement. Alors ce n'est jamais complètement statique et il y a quelque chose à regarder. Toujours ce sentiment que pour nous toucher réellement, il faut que le théâtre soit à la fois lointain et proche, qu'il faut qu'il y ait quelque chose d'inattendu, qui n'est pas banal au premier degré, qui n'est pas exactement ce qu'on voit dans la rue, ce qu'on voit à la télévision, que ce soit un autre climat. Je n'aime pas me considérer, parce que ce n'est pas vrai, comme homme de théâtre. Non, c'est mon métier. Mais ce n'est pas ça qui compte. Je ne vais pas privé réellement. Si je pouvais vivre avec d'autres éléments, je ne serais pas privé de quelque chose si je ne faisais pas de théâtre.
Thank you very much, Racheli Friedman-Cohen and Anton Lapidus, Shalom Sagi and the flamenco dancers, Timur Shapira at the piano, and Shira Green, opera. The International Review Committee, certainly. The International Review Committee for the Present Time Dimension, chaired by Dr. Reynold Levy, President of Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, selected world-renowned theater director Mr. Peter Brook of the International Center for Theater Creations in Paris as the laureate of the 2005 Dan David Prize for the Present Time Dimension in the field of performing arts. This is to witness that on the 23rd day of May 2005, the Dan David Prize for 2005 for outstanding achievements in the service of humanity, advancement of the frontiers of knowledge, and the universal goals of excellence, creativity, humanism, and progress, is awarded for the present time dimension in the field of the performing arts to Mr. Peter Brook for being one of the seminal artists of the 20th and 21st centuries, for his outstanding contribution to the art of theater and opera, for his influence as a writer, and for his ability to draw inspiration and sustenance from the world as his stage. It is an honor to invite to the stage Ms. Gabriela David and Professor Shimon Yankelevich, who will present the award to Mr. Peter Brook. I now have the honor to invite to the stage the recipient of the prize, Mr. Peter Brook. Thank you very much, Ms. David and Professor Yankelevich. I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Peter Brook to remain on stage, of course, and address the audience.
I'm personally very moved, but I think that this personal feeling is far less important than what, at this present moment, I feel to be the presence here amongst us of three very powerful symbols. I feel that this award has come into being through nearly 40 years of work of our international center based on a search to find ways in which people of totally different cultures, languages, backgrounds, races, and religions can find a way of working together in a concrete, constructive, and practical way with mutual respect and understanding. And that is the first powerful symbol that I feel this award is reflecting. Second, the fact that it is taking place here in Tel Aviv University, in a university which today is perhaps the most potent and simple symbol that can remain alive in the world of what free and through free, bold thinking can bring as a challenge and as a possibility to our times. That is also in the present. And the third great symbol is that Dan David has, in his own direct, human and simple way, shown us the meaning of generosity, the open gesture of human generosity. And so to come once again right into the heart of the present here, I feel that in this painful moment of tragic suffering and conflict stemming from the past, these three symbols of the bold thinking, of the respect to all human differences, and the act of openness through generosity are perhaps the signpost through which this conflict of misunderstanding between the two great brother and sister cultures and traditions of the Jewish and the Arab world, of Palestine today and Israel, can perhaps begin to find a new way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brook. One of the markers of historical progress has been the ability of people to produce artifacts from materials that are either found in nature or from newly created ones. Stone, bronze, and iron were used to make farming tools, weapons, ornaments, and musical instruments in the prehistoric stone, bronze, and iron ages. Rattles and drums were used already in the Bronze Age, and string and wind instruments were used even earlier in the Stone Age. Chen Zimbalista illustrates how basic materials employed in prehistoric times serve as musical instruments to produce classical and contemporary music. Chen works with marimba, cymbals, and numerous other percussion instruments. His vibraphone drums are composed of skin, a biomaterial. Other instruments are made of fiber skin and polyurethane. He uses also an electric loop machine that records and recycles his music. Give Chen technology, and of course some time, and he will play music with instruments made from the most sophisticated composites, perhaps nanoparticles. Today you will listen to music created by, among other means, working a huge granite stone from the Golan Heights, as well as by percussion on water. Here he is, Chen Zimbalista. Thank you very much, percussion wizard, Chen Cimbalista. The specific field for the future time dimension of the Dan David Prize for 2005 is materials science. The International Review Committee for the Future Time Dimension included two Nobel laureates, Professors Leo Esaki and Alan J. Heeger, and was headed by Professor Venkatesh Narayanamurthy of Harvard University. The committee made a highly successful choice of three distinguished materials scientists: Professor Robert Langer of MIT, the United States, Professor C.N.R. Rao of the Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, India, and Professor George Whitesides of Harvard University, the United States. This is to witness that on the 23rd day of May 2005, the Dan David Prize for 2005 for outstanding achievements in the service of humanity, advancements of frontiers of knowledge, and the universal goals of excellence, creativity, humanism, and progress is awarded for the future time dimension in the field of materials science to Professor Robert Langer for pioneering the field of biomaterials and tissue engineering, for developing biocompatible polymers for drug delivery, and synthetic polymers to form specific tissue structure, and for the creation of numerous novel biomaterials.
Tissue engineering, first, as a general way of thinking about it, is taking what are called mammalian cells and perhaps combining them with plastics and using that to create a new organ or tissue. So an example might be creating new skin for a burn victim, creating new cartilage, creating a new spinal cord. These are polymer scaffolds that we use for tissue engineering. What you're looking at are sort of polymer scaffolds. Here we're making them in the form of little sheets, and then we put different cells on, like cartilage cells or heart cells or nerve cells on them, and they then grow over time. Here is a prototype nose. You can even see the nostrils right here. So here's one nostril, here's the other, and this is sort of the bridge of your nose. But the potential is to ultimately grow whatever tissue you want, whatever organ you want. I think that one has to think that whatever there is out there that we might call conventional wisdom, that you can go beyond that. And I guess the other thing is that it's to realize that it's okay to fail. The fact that something's impossible doesn't inspire me. What inspires me is that if we're successful, it could do a lot of good.
The 2005 Dan David Prize for the Future Time Dimension in the field of materials science is awarded to Professor C.N.R. Rao for his preeminent achievements in solid-state and materials chemistry, and for his work on transition metal oxides leading to basic understanding of novel phenomena, and the relationship between the structural chemistry of materials and their properties, for having a profound impact in application fields such as colossal magnetoresistance and high-temperature superconductivity, and for the development of the field of microfluids and the fabrication of microanalytical systems.
I started my career working on spectroscopy and molecular structure, but realized very early that chemistry of solid materials offered immense opportunities. The subject was in its infancy at that time. I started working on defects and phase transitions in solids, but got interested in the electronic and magnetic properties of oxide materials late in the 1950s. I have worked on various aspects of numerous oxides and have contributed to the synthesis of new materials as well as to new synthetic and characterization methodologies. As the old solid-state chemistry broadened to become materials chemistry, I have gone into hybrid and open framework materials, transformations of molecules to materials, carbon nanotubes, and new kinds of nanostructures. My interest in the chemical design of materials has extended to nanomaterials and transition metal oxides, especially colossal magnetoresistance, change ordering, and electronic phase separation. I have been doing research for more than half a century and have not yet had a dull moment.
I've been a professor almost for 45 years, published all kinds of papers and worked with a large number of students. I've really enjoyed this life. Somebody asked me the other day, how long will you go on doing this? What will you do? Well, my only answer is, I hope till the last day of my life I can work in the laboratory. And that's all my wish.
The 2005 Dan David Prize for the Future Time Dimension in the field of materials science is awarded to Professor George Whitesides for opening up new domains of research in nanoscience and technology, for exploring the intersection of molecular scale synthesis and surface science, for developing self-assembly monolayers leading to the transformation of surface science into the broad discipline of microfabrication and biological interactions.
What we do is to bridge the gap between molecules and materials. The particular kinds of work that we've done that's been interesting has often involved surfaces. And a good example is skin. If you think about skin, it's soft, it is slippery in a certain way, it has a texture. That set of characteristics, which we're all familiar with, is determined by the molecules on the top of you. And understanding the relationship between those molecules and the texture, the slipperiness, the adhesion, that's the kind of thing that we're interested in studying. The idea is to grow human cells in patterns and then to explore the responses of those cells to test candidates as drugs and to infer from the behavior of the cells how the human being might behave when exposed to the drugs, to make a bridge between studies with animals and studies with people. What's the dream for this area? It's something called materials by design. The idea of materials by design is that you think of a property, and then you think of molecules, and you design the molecules in such a fashion that they build themselves into systems that have the properties that you've imagined. Life shows that this can be done, and we're interested in trying to understand how to do it in the laboratory by design.
It is an honor to invite to the stage two members of the Dan David Prize Board of Directors, Professor Yoshua Yortner, Professor of Chemistry, and Dr. Bruce Alberts, Chairman of the National Research Council of the United States and President of the National Academy of Sciences, and also an honorary doctor of Tel Aviv University, who will present the award to the three Future Time Dimension laureates. I have the honor to invite to the stage the recipients of the prize, Professor Robert Langer, Professor C.N.R. Rao, and Professor George Whitesides. Thank you very much. I have the pleasure to ask Professor George Whitesides to remain on stage and address the audience on behalf of the Future Time Dimension laureates.
So what is a material? If you look around you here, I think you can imagine yourself in a space that has three kinds of objects in it, three kinds of entities. There are things that are inanimate, the walls, the chairs, the stairs. There are things that are animate, most of us. And there are things that we can't see, which are the intelligences that are here. Material science is concerned primarily with the inanimate things at this point. But it's moving, as the work of Professor Langer shows, to the dimension of those things that are alive as well. So a material is an object which is almost unique in some ways in the culture of science, because it is a physical form of matter that is intended to have a function. And that connection between the inanimate and the human intention, the function, is something which separates material science and materials from science which is interested in the thing by itself, but with the human function to be put off into the future. So the idea of materials as physical things with function, of course, is as old as we are as a species. Bronze, stone, many of such things, fabric, are materials that all of you are familiar with. The ones that are perhaps now most current are silicon, which is, after all, the basis for communication. Silicon provides the mechanism by which you can write love letters in real time. Glass. Glass is the medium through which the light is piped that carries the information from place to place. The clever form of wire and polymer that is placed inside the artery when it begins to clog, the stent, to keep us functioning for a while. So materials and material science has the interesting characteristic that it never separates understanding from using. The two are inextricably wedded together. In material science, what one does is to understand the material in order to use it for, one hopes, in general, human benefit. So the past has been mechanical things and now electronic things. The future will probably be biological things, bridging the animate and the inanimate. And then in due course, it will be interesting to see how material science with other areas of science puts together the final connection, which is inanimate, animate, and sentient. So I speak for my colleagues in thanking the many co-workers that we have worked with over the course of time for the opportunity to be here. Material science is an intensely social occasion. And of course, we thank this university, Israel in the form of President Katsav and Mrs. Katsav, and then Dan David and Mrs. David for the insight and the vision which I think has led to the creation of occasions that celebrate the joining of the various aspects of science and the humanities. I thank them on behalf of Professor Langer and Professor Rao and myself. I thank our students, and I thank the society that has supported us in these activities and which we hope ultimately benefits.
Many thanks, Professor Whitesides. We would like to thank Ofer and Iris Portugali and their gospel choir for their exciting performance, and to express our sincere thanks to Ofer Portugali for his creative musical direction and his original composition written especially for the 2005 Dan David Prize Award ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hatikvah, Israel's national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2005 Dan David Prize Award ceremony. Kindly remain standing until the President and Mrs. Katsav have left the auditorium. Thank you. תודה רבה, כבוד הנשיא והגברת קצב. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for taking part in this ceremony. And now refreshments are being served in the entrance lobby. You are all cordially invited to enjoy. Thank you once again. תודה רבה. בתיאבון וצאתכם לשלום.